was the hope then, Vimlendu Jha? First, you have this crazy construction on a, on the side of a river. This is suicidal. Anyone who now looks at these pictures, not till 48 hours ago, but if you now look at these pictures, the one question that you will ask is, why did you build in the path of the river? Have we not learnt our lessons from Kedarnath? No, we haven't.
So, Shreya, the early warning system of the government is a big joke. But the early warning system that we have of our Mother Nature is extremely robust. We have been getting warnings for years together. We've seen what happened 2 years ago in terms of the tunnel collapse. We've seen Joshimath going down. We've seen 2013 Kedarnath. We've seen many such events that have actually taken place, and we've got enough early warning to not grow the way we are actually growing. By the way, it's very, very important for me, for all of us to know that what you see in that river is silt. In last 1 decade alone, in that entire valley, almost 20 million tons of debris and excavated soil has been dumped in these river bodies or in these waterways in that sense. When you have the Char Dham Yatra, which is a 12-meter road that's been constructed almost 890 kilometers with no environmental impact assessment, when you have rampant digging and blasting of the entire fragile Himalayas, starting from Ladakh to Arunachal, we've seen what happened in Sikkim. This is something, as in I do not know why I was so surprised and amused by landslide today, or the cloudburst induced landslide and flooding that happened today, or for that matter, 200 lives lost in last 1 month just in Himachal. The same thing happened in 2024, the same thing happened in 2023, and those early warning systems are working, and therefore there should have been correctional measures. And eviction of a town, again, I'm saying that it would be very easy for us to really blame the locals who, for their economic reasons, like in Kedarnath also, are setting up their clusters and their hotels. Indeed, they should not be in the way of the water. But largely, we need to understand the bigger picture, the bigger elephant, the biggest violator is the government here. And not just in terms of telling us that, hey, there'll be a cloudburst, but also looking at the developmental paradigm or developmental model of destruction. Please do not call it development. Let's not get into this facade of balancing of development. Do we actually need better roads, or do we need a barrier called Himalayas? When we know that it's a fragile and dynamic ecosystem, that is the Himalayas, when there's been enough early warning and events, and both in terms of intensity of events and frequency of events in the last 1 decade that we've seen, where is our governance infrastructure to really look at what is needed? As in what Supreme Court made it very, very dramatic to say, that Himachal will disappear and Uttarakhand will perhaps disappear. But disappearance of a Himalayan ecosystem means not just, that piece of real estate going away, but it will completely mean that India and Indianness and many things, India's economy, India's agriculture, India's water, everything is at risk. So we need to really go beyond our myopic understanding of disasters. We should never look at this as an event. The biggest disservice that we actually do is call this a natural disaster. This is not a natural disaster. Cloudburst could be natural, but cloudburst induced damage to life and livelihood. And that silt, the river of silt that you see flowing is not natural. This is because of the kind of excavation, dumping. By the way, the Supreme Court committee, HPC, high-powered committee, actually was talking about it. They said no. What did the government do, and what did the, funny enough, Supreme Court also do? That 889-kilometer Char Dham project was sliced into 53 smaller projects, so that that mandate of 100-kilometer long highway doesn't need environmental impact assessment. So, this is not a short circuit. We cannot find there's a cloudburst and there's no engineering flaw in a cloudburst, but the fact that the kind of damage that we're seeing, and there's no guarantee that tonight or tomorrow there'll be, God forbid, that there will not be one. You and I have been discussing this, Professor Prakash and all of us have been discussing this for months together, years together, and perhaps we'll discuss a heat wave and a flash flood and perhaps an erratic snowfall also. So climate is not an academic discourse, it is here and now, and therefore we need to also act here and now.
Okay. Anup Nautiyal, again, as I've been saying, the extent of the damage is not very clear. Telephone lines are down. Internet connectivity is not exactly good in the area right now. Most of your reinforcements in terms of your search and rescue teams have not reached. Helicopters are not being able to take off. So right now, the information we have is limited. It's coming from the district administration. They have confirmed 4 people have died. They have confirmed that 60 people are missing. But if you look at this picture, just this one picture, you will know that the story is much, much bigger than that this is a Himalayan tragedy that has played out. Again, I come back to the early warning systems. The point is, chalo chodo. Forget about the early warning systems that have been placed all along the Gangotri Valley and these special weather centers that have been set up in 4 areas, including in Harsil. They all failed. But the fact is that nature has been warning.